I kind of like Halloween.
Boo, bitch, you just got spooked. Hey, by a certified spooky ass dude.
And I imagine you do too if you clicked on this video. Now you've probably seen or looked up lists like best Halloween specials, or favorite Halloween cartoons, or nostalgic Halloween classics, or all sorts of things like that. But something that I haven't seen quite as many of, or maybe not even any, Halloween stuff on YouTube. If you're like me, you at this point watch a lot more YouTube than any other film or TV. So today I wanted to make my own list of a bunch of recommendations I have for YouTube content for people who don't have enough spooky in their lives during the Halloween season. And I can never get enough. And there are a lot of niches on YouTube that you can get into. Obviously mine is kind of geared towards animation, so you can kind of expect I'm mostly gonna talk about stuff like that in this video, but I am gonna go off the rails a little bit too. And I personally don't love watching like super scary, disturbing content, so most of these recommendations are going to be pretty lighthearted. Most. But with all the genres and spooky to go around, let's not waste any time and get right into it. Number 1, Wicked Binge.
Here in the writer's room, Halloween is one of our favorite holidays. We love all facets of the fall.
Wicked Binge is a YouTube channel with a fantastic Halloween playlist. And as their channel name suggests, it is quite the Wicked Binge. They specialize in video essays and listicles surrounding your favorite Halloween classics. Videos like The Nightmare Before Christmas, Good to Evil, the best South Park Halloween specials, sentencing Halloween and horror movie villains for their crimes, Goosebump entities evil to most evil. Wow. Evil to most evil, that's pretty funny. It's not good to evil, because they're all pretty bad. They talk about your Halloween classics, but with a little extra flavor to give you something funky to think about.
And today, we'll be sentencing Halloween villains for their crimes.
Number 2, the Game Grumps. Specifically the playlist, the Ghoul Grumps.
Hey, I'm Ghoul.
What?
And we're the Ghoul Grumps.
Every Halloween, this group of hilarious gamers who you might also know from Ninja Sex Party, which is their musical career, comedy music, also recommend.
Y'all are the nightmares you should be afraid of. There is just one thing we love, and that's cookies!
Now, if you're like me and don't actually like playing horror games that much, but still kinda don't mind watching other people because it's kinda funny to see them get scared, then you'll definitely love this, because these guys are just naturally hilarious anyway.
They were sucking the masks off these things.
Yeah.
And then stunning them while they're shamed.
And then you take one person who hates horror games and makes them play it.
Oh, that's awful. That's the game?
Yeah, man.
That's Five Nights at Freddy's?
Yeah, dude.
It's just a good time for all. Number 3, I recommend Jesse Cox for very similar reasons.
Ow. It's very bright. Perfect.
They have a series called The Scary Game Squad, where they obviously also play scary games, but it's not specifically for Halloween, it's kind of an all-year thing. And I will say they sometimes tackle a little scarier of games than the Game Grumps, so if you want to push your own comfort level a little further, then you'll probably love them as well. But it also has a very comedic tone.
I just put Cox.
That's not fair. That's like... It's like too good.
Now let's talk about some just straight up creepy shit, but still not too creepy. I don't want any of you to see the thumbnails that I saw when looking stuff up for this video. Jesus, YouTube. You're telling me I can't say the F word without a censor, but you allow shit like this to fly? I censored it myself because I don't want my viewers to see it. What? Wow, fuck you. But anyway, number 4, creepypasta. Okay, so full disclosure, for like my whole life, I thought creepypasta was actually like a straight up YouTube channel. It's not, it's actually a genre for just like retelling scary stories that are on the internet. And again, major warning to people who don't want to see disturbing imagery, because if you just look up random creepypastas, you're just gonna see a bunch of crazy shit. And I don't love filling my brain with disturbing stuff, so it's not a genre that I personally dip into, but I wanted to recommend it to people who are into that because I respect those who do want to delve into the darker side of things. But, you know, take care of your head. This is a temple up here. But for those who do want to just see straight up scary stories, I recommend Mr. Creepypasta, and I'll specifically recommend the Pokemon story Lavender Town because I mean, that shows you where I'm at with scary stories.
The phenomenon of the Lavender Town tone is a legend that involves a bizarre spate of medical cases and deaths from around the country.
But there's a few horror ones related to the Pokemon games that are pretty creepy still, but won't completely terrify you the way that some of those stories will. Number 5, Papa Meat.
We're talking about something that's
Now, I'm sure some of you have heard of Meat Canyon.
Do you want a heart to save your life? Or do you want a Mr. Beast rap Tesla?
I would literally
Unalive, because that's somehow a better word.
myself for a Tesla.
I am mentioning it because I'm sure that people will comment, oh, you said Papa Meat, why didn't you say Meat Canyon? It's just a little bit more disturbing than I want to personally put out there. But Papa Meat is a different channel related to Meat Canyon, and they post a bunch of really hilarious videos talking about still very creepy matters. I recently watched one that was eBay's most haunted listing.
Talking about one of the most cursed objects of all time. If not the most cursed object probably ever recorded, I would say.
I wanted to recommend this channel because I really like the style. He's got this weird, like, computer zombie character.
Winslow,
What is it?
I think this thing might be haunted.
Haunted! I hate ghosts, please!
And he kind of has just a little bit of a Halloween edge to everything that he does, and it's a lot of fun. I really like it, being someone who's into, like, the mildly creepy. So that's enough super creepy for me. Let's get into just some straight up movies and shows that you can watch on YouTube, such as the channel YouTube Movies. I know this is kind of a dumb recommendation, but there's actually a ton of phenomenal stuff out there on YouTube Movies that I watch all the time. A lot of old classics are on there, like Nosferatu is free to watch at the time of recording this. A lot of more updated stuff, like the 2013 version of Carrie is on there if you like a little bit more of the horror genre. A lot of good TV shows like Death Note is fully on there if you wanted to try watching Death Note this Halloween season. The Outer Limits, Dracula Dead and Loving It, Donnie Darko, the director's cut. The director's cut makes the movie actually make sense. There's actually a huge catalog of phenomenal stuff, and I think it goes very underappreciated. Not to mention, you can rent a ton of films from there as well, which I personally prefer to streaming. Cancel your streaming services, just watch stuff on YouTube. That's my recommendation. Next up, Glitch.
Today's adventure is the mystery of Mildenhall Manor! That's right, this big spooky mansion has been rumored to be filled to the brim with paranormal activity!
If you're an indie animation fan, you need to check out Glitch right now. They have Murder Jones, which embarrassingly I haven't seen yet, but I promise you I'm gonna catch up someday, of the other Glitch animated series, which is the Amazing World of Gum. What am I talking about?
I guess some people just can't help making fools of themselves.
Look, there's Gumball.
And he's naked!
The Amazing Digital Circus.
Welcome to the Amazing Digital Circus!
This is a psychological horror story about a character who seems to be trapped in a VR video game. And before you say that's sci-fi and not horror,
We don't venture out into the void.
Not even I know what's out there.
I'm sorry, could you speak up? I couldn't quite make that out.
just trust me on this one. And for number 8, I'm gonna recommend Vivzy Pop. Look, Hell of a Boss is a great show. I imagine if you're watching this video, you've probably seen it already, but if you haven't...
Hi there, I'm Blitz. The O is silent, and I am the founder of IMP. Are you a piece of shit who got yourself sent to hell? Scatter!
It's a story about the Imp organization, which is a small band of people who created a business in hell to essentially be hitmen for people who want revenge on the living, which is not actually that tied into most of the plot of the series, but it's a funny thing to say out loud, so I like reading it that way. It's a comedy-style show, but it has a lot of drama and really profound moments, and I won't spoil anything about it, but I totally recommend you go see it. Now let's get into reaction content. This used to be a completely reaction-based channel. A ton of our followers are reaction fans, so I wanted to give a couple reaction channels a shout out. The first of which being us! Haha! Gotcha! We have a Halloween playlist, and it's not only reaction content, but we do have a lot of our old reactions. We did Over the Garden Wall. We did a lot of weird random ones like Amazing World of Gumball. I'm kind of joking, like and subscribe and all that, but for real, one thing that I do recommend if you're a reaction fan, a reaction channel that I'll bet you haven't actually thought or heard of, is Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Well, this is not putting me in mind of Satan here. Believe me, it's pretty easy to put me in mind of Satan.
Tell me about it.
This is the original reaction content. Mystery Science Theater 3000 was a show that came out in 1988. Yes, this is long before YouTube. And it stars a guy who gets trapped in space with a couple robots, and they are sentenced to live their lives watching terrible science fiction B-movies from the 60s and 70s. And technically, these are scripted. They're not like true reactions, but I think this is what really started the idea that you could just watch something and people could watch you watching it and get a lot of enjoyment out of it. And these are so funny. If you like campy old classic Halloween horror movies like I do, you are gonna love these people and you are gonna love this comedy. And yes, they do have a YouTube channel and it's live like 24/7. They are always streaming some show, some hilariously bad horror movie. And if you're somebody who likes just the history of all of this stuff, check them out just to be informed on where it all came from. I really think it's awesome. Next up, the Corridor Crew.
So how do you think they would have made all these?
This is when I couldn't watch it. I couldn't handle it.
This shot's actually done backwards to get her hair to flow the right way.
I forgot how brutal this was.
Just wait, dude.
This is a team of VFX artists who do reaction content, but the reason I like these is because they are all VFX artists themselves, and they are reacting specifically to the technology of the VFX.
It's always better when you can do it practically than using CGI or effects, and it's like, that's not how it works. A mixture of some practical stuff augmented with effects is always better than just effects or just practical.
They also have a Halloween React playlist, and it isn't super long, but they've covered a lot of awesome stuff. Looking at the special effects of horror movies like It, or The Ring, and even going back into classics like Casper, The Nightmare Before Christmas, and The Simpsons. They even have an animators react, which I wish there was more of that. Give me more animation reaction content. I want to see animators with their expertise talking about these kinds of things. You know what I mean?
So here you have that style, it's called rubber hose animation, where things don't have the skeletal structure and everything. Things can bend and morph and all that stuff.
By the way, all of these channels and playlists are going to be in the description of this video, so it's very easy for everybody to go see them. I love supporting all of my favorite YouTubers. I watch this stuff all the time. As far as I'm concerned, I'm just a fan like everyone else. And time to get into my top 3 personal favorites to watch for the Halloween season. I know my numbering has been inconsistent as fuck. That's just how my brain works.
Welcome to the channel.
Number 3, Film Theory.
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Film Theory, where we watch our internet videos a quarter frame at a time.
Yeah, I love this channel. They're huge and popular. I know you've heard of them. Matt Pat's the GOAT, even though he's technically retired. He's not really retired. He is coming back for a ton of content. But these guys have a fantastic Halloween playlist with a lot of great theory videos on a ton of different Halloween subjects. It's fantastic. I feel like I don't even need to tell you more about it because it's so famous, but if you haven't seen specifically their Halloween stuff, description is in the link. Number 2, Tale Foundry. So I actually discovered Tale Foundry somewhat recently, and they do video essays, which I think would really resonate with any of you who are aspiring artists or writers yourself. They cover a wide range of spooky topics that I have flooded my watch list with lately. I'm talking about videos like Books Too Dangerous to Read, Metamorphosis, the horror of disability. Fates worse than death. World building with giant monsters. How H.P. Lovecraft wrote the impossible. What is xenification? Crafting is a There is so much good stuff on this channel, my god. I don't have enough time to watch it all. I need more time to watch it all, but I'm making my own videos. It's terrible! Seriously, check these guys out. Go subscribe. I cannot recommend it enough.
On this channel, we are no strangers to some good old cosmic horror. We love our eldritch space entities, our seas writhing with untold monstrosities, our horrific and forgotten origin stories.
They have a phenomenal animation style of their own that accompanies the videos, and it's just phenomenal food for thought if you are an aspiring writer, because that's a really huge part of the channel too, is they're really just talking about these topics to encourage people to write their own stories and explaining what makes these different topics so interesting or not interesting, or it's great. Check it out. And lastly, my #1 favorite, you might not be surprised to hear me say it, the Nostalgia Critic.
Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic guy. Remember it so you don't have to.
Nostalgia Critic has been my #1 favorite YouTube channel since I was in high school, maybe even a little earlier. I'm literally copying the man's suit that he wears for his Nostalgia Ween series, which has been going on for like a decade or more. The Nostalgia Critic, if you're not familiar, is a comedic movie reviewer from way back in the day. Comedic reviews with, in my opinion, fantastic and genuine insight when it comes to the actual art of filmmaking or writing or music or all of the wonderful things that go into film and animation. And they cover everything. The Shining miniseries, Hocus Pocus, Top 11 Gravity Falls episodes, Scary Godmother, Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, The Nightmare Before Christmas, The Ring, Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost, The Munsters, The Mist, Monster House, Trick or Treat. I mean, this list just goes on and on and on. And I don't usually rewatch YouTube videos, but I will rewatch this guy every year. It brings my heart so much joy. It's ironically become a nostalgic classic for me. And it's perfect to end this video because that's kind of why I wanted to make this list. We're now at a time in history where a lot of people have grown up with YouTube, and a lot of content creators are now nostalgic in our own hearts. I remember in high school watching these with my buddies and cracking up of the terrible movies like The Room.
Did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
Or Maximum Overdrive to keep it on genre for Halloween. And I wanted to give YouTube the respect that TV and film has. There are some amazing artists on this platform that are really doing some incredible work. And whether or not you think any of these people on that list are those people, there are a ton of them out there. And it brings me joy to be able to share that with all of you as a fan of it myself, and even be creating on this platform as well. And it brings me joy in this favorite time of year of mine to be able to share some of my personal favorites, plus a few that my friends recommended, of what I like to watch and get a ton of nostalgic or just pure spooky Halloween, skeleton-y, ghosty, witchy, horrific,
evil, monstrous, demonic,
wonderful things that I love it. It's fun. Thank you so much for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe, and all that stuff if you like this kind of stuff. And have a wonderful, absolutely beautiful, spooky time of year.